Last week, Microsoft's Exchange servers were hacked and made big news. But what does it mean? Elizabeth Wu is a cybersecurity expert. She's going to answer a lot of those questions for us right now. Elizabeth, first things first, what's an Exchange server?
An Exchange server is where a company's email is brought in-house and it's hosted, and literally it's exchanged. You can consider it like a company's own Canada Post or a post office. So email comes in, the server itself is there to exchange and decide whether that mail is spam or if it's legitimate.
So it's like breaking into the post office of a company.
Exactly. That's why this is so dangerous and such huge news.
How does something like that happen?
How does any hack happen or data breach happen? It's through a vulnerability that corporations have due to not installing their security patches. In this particular case, there were security patches that have been done, but what's happened where we think there's a group of hackers in China that have just continued hacking away, if you don't mind me using the pun, hacking away at program code of the Exchange server software. And thereby, they were able to break the code and get in, infiltrating, bypassing the security of the already existing software. And now they've just opened up this huge vulnerability into the Exchange network.
What does this mean for consumers?
Consumers, well, it's data breach. It's if their information, any type of data that has been sent through email to the corporations, and I believe the last count was 60,000 Exchange servers that have been affected so far and counting. So anybody who sent through an email with any type of information to any one of those 60,000 servers will have a breach of information, not necessarily from the benefiting the hackers themselves, but again, what I understand from some high-level security people is that this is a stepping stone towards a bigger fish, meaning that it's by hacking into a smaller supply chain server, Exchange server, that perhaps is feeding into one of the Fortune 500 corporations. That's where they're actually who and why they're going after it is to get to the corporate Fortune 500 Exchange server information.
So what can be done about this?
Well, Microsoft and like all other security experts, they're patching it up as fast as they can, and that's all they can do, and mitigating as quickly as possible. So all the programmers and security people are lining it up and just protecting as much as they can through hardware firewalls or through their own delivering patches to patch what was already broken into.
Well, Microsoft is as big as it gets. You think they'd be aware of security. For anybody who owns a company out there, they've got to be nervous about their own security right now. What can they do to make sure that their business is safe?
Well, installing is the IT departments should be, if they're not, they should be installing the security patches where they initially might have said, oh, we don't have time for that. They need to be doing it right away. And if they haven't been doing it, they should be doing it now and working overtime as a result. And it's not just the Microsoft software security patches. It's all software licenses that are running on their network. It's really, that's all it is. And why this happens is it's if you consider it a lock, so you can have the best lock in the world, but if somebody's trying to break in, they're going to find a way, and it's just a matter of time before they do. Unfortunately, in the small business and medium-sized business mindset, they have this idea that says, I'm fine because I'm just a little guy. The hackers don't really care whether you're a little guy or not. You could be a little guy feeding into the supply chain that feeds eventually into the big Fortune 500, and you've got the data. Why not? You've got the access.
So what can the small business person do?
They can just install their updates and keep on with their antivirus, keep on with any type of malware protection, ensure that all the software is up to date and as secure as possible.
So be vigilant. This isn't something you can just hope doesn't happen to you. You've got to make sure it doesn't happen to you.
You absolutely have to be active about it. There's no I like to use metaphors a lot. You can leave the door open to your front house and hope that nobody breaks in. You can hope that nobody breaks in, but if you're ever going to leave the house, then to your point about being vigilant, you've got to close and lock the door every single time.
Elizabeth, thank you very much. Really appreciate your insight on this.
You're more than welcome. Thank you so much, Craig.